Oh, hey, are you looking for a great protein snack on the go that's not going to leave you that instant feeling of regret? Try Paleo Valley beef sticks. Paleo Valley beef sticks are farm-raised, made with 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef. Loaded with all the daily vitamins and nutrients your body needs to shine. Here at Paleo Valley, we prioritize health over profit, have a serious passion for environmental restoration, and animal welfare. Hey, buddy. Consider a higher quality protein snack you'll actually feel good about. Damn, that's good. Paleo Valley, because quality matters.
Hello and good morning everybody. Welcome to today's live broadcast with Cycling News and ZMS. Today we are bringing you the Dirt Doozy race from New York. So we're going to be over on the Swift platform again today, and we've got 2 laps of Gotham Grind. So this is a route that takes in the New York Central Park, and it's pretty much following the roads around the perimeter. It's a bit of a figure 8 course with a little bit of a loop back over yourself just after the start. So it's going to be 2 laps and a total of 18.8 kilometers. So there we go, there's the overall profile of the course, and we start off coming downhill out of the pens towards the middle bottom part of this image. We do the short small little loop first, then we loop back round over the course we've just come, and then we go down the rear, which slowly climbs a few sharp sections. There's one bit which is over 10%, and then we fall back down through the baseball fields before climbing back up for the long couple of straights before we get back to the start finish line. So it's going to be 2 laps of this, around about 168 meters of elevation change, and it's going to be fast and wild, probably around about 24 minutes for our leaders today. So as usual, we've got a nice sized field with the dirt team as the host for this race, as always, filling up, stacking the field with a number of their riders. Just looking through the sign up list here, we've got Jacob Broughton, Michael Gertemoller, Ryan Norwood, Brian Owens, Brandon Hines, so quite a few in the A category there, and then in the B category, Clay Jackson, Martin Heinzelman, Matthew Mex, Nick Barnes, and then a few in the C's as well, Alex McLeish, Daniel Clark, and Lyle Worsley as well. So a good split of dirt riders right across all 4 categories. So we're just about a minute now from the start. So we're going to join the A category over in the pen there. We do have a number of riders signed up in total, so it should be a good sized field. Just looking through, looks about 80 riders in total at the moment. 40 seconds for any remaining riders to get into the pen. I've got a couple 22 or so in this A category. But it should be all riders visible, all riders on screen together. If you are watching on Facebook or watching on YouTube, then please do give us a like and a subscribe, and leave your comments, and then we can get your comments up on screen as well. We do like to interact with you guys if you're watching. We've got Sam Crofts, he's unfortunately working this morning, so he's unable to join. He's getting FOMO. I know how you feel, Sam. I'd like to be riding, but I've got some builders just outside, so unfortunately they are not able to let me ride. And we've also got Ryan Miller as well. Thanks for joining, Ryan. All right, so we're away then. We are out of the pens. It's a few meters of flat, and then it will hit a right turn and we will drop down a bit of a steep descent initially. That will get the riders up to speed. You can see here Frederick Gombert pushing out over 400 watts as we get going. As always, a fast start on these races, whether you're on Zwift, MyWhoosh or RGT, it is a fast start. So here we are then, down this downhill section. You can see already it's getting strung out a little bit, already some splits forming in this group. And there's that right-hander onto the smaller loop. This is the, if you're just doing this as its own little loop, the LaGuardia loop. Has anyone seen Deadpool this morning? He's watching as well, so we've got some famous fans joining us today. So a few people already dropping some power-ups. You've got the van power-up there. That's giving them a drafting boost. And interestingly, someone already dropping an aero power-up very early to be doing that. They must be gambling on collecting another aero later on, because that would be very useful towards the end of this race. Riders do go through the start-finish banner 2 times, and also there's a sprint section that we're just coming up to, a sprint arch, which also hands out power-ups as well. So a second opportunity on the course for riders to gain a power-up. So 4 opportunities in total. Those riders, they're using the feather power-up just to give themselves a little bit of an advantage up that short little climb. Worth using that there because you've got this arch coming up, so an opportunity to grab that second power-up and maybe gamble for the aero. It's a fast finish on this course, slightly downhill, pretty straight, so having an aero at the end is going to be a big advantage. So here we are then, plenty of the dirt riders there. You can see them with their names. Got their tag there. Lots of ride-ons being thrown down as well, falling from the sky there, the little blue thumbs ups. Good number of Tron bikes there, you can see with the glowing wheels, lots of different colours. So you unlock the Tron bike after achieving 50,000 meters of climbing in the Zwift game, as long as you've selected it as a challenge. So you can do that in the inside the app, and once you've completed that 50,000 meters, you unlock the Tron bike, which is a really good all-round bike. So there's Sam. Thanks a lot, Sam. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're supporting some of your fellow dirt riders there. So on this first little loop then, we are just coming up to 2.5 kilometers in, so not too far just yet. Still 16 kilometers to go as we get on board there with DJ Hunt, just cruising at 200 to 250 watts. He's an A rider for the dirt team. So I can see here, looking at his stats, he's got pretty much a 12 watt per kilo 15-second kick, so that's going to be handy as we come towards the end of this race. Some of these A riders are a little bit lighter, so that maybe if the Bs can hang on, they might be able to use some stronger power on that final kick towards the line. So this is a rolling course. So we've got a few little descents, a few little climbs, flat bits in between. It's a bit of a mixture of everything. So it's the Tron bike, as I mentioned just now, that is a good all-round bike. That works well on courses like this. There are some bikes which are better on a more uphill climbing course, such as Alpe Zwift, and also some other bikes which are better on a all-round flat course, such as Tempus Fugit. So we can see here a rider on the front just putting in a little bit of an effort, just trying to stretch it out a little bit. These shorter races, it is a little bit all out pretty much from the start. You do get less of an opportunity to rest, and because it's only around about 20 to 24 minutes on the Dirt Doozy, there's not really a section in the middle where things die down or settle down and you get a few minutes of rest. You know, on a longer race, such as a 45-minute race, you might have 20 minutes in the middle where you have a chance just to cruise a little bit before it ramps up again towards the finish. Just saw a glimpse there on screen, the name popping up there. Will Griffiths I used to ride with him in the Zwift Racing League team for dirt. I'm not participating in that at the moment, but Will was a strong rider in that, so it was good to ride with him and good to see that he's still around and competing. Right, so now we hit this right-hander and we join into this longer section then. You can see that we've got 74 riders overall in this race. All riders mixed up together here, A's, B's. There's an ODZ rider there. Give them a shout out. They were over on RGT a couple of weeks ago, riding in the Giro de Europa event. So that was a 5-day back-to-back stage race. They had several team members on there and they did really well. So it's good to see them. Also a multi-platform team. And now we join Michael Gertemuller, also a dirt rider, pumping out 200 watts there. It's just eased up a little bit in that draft, but we're coming up to the small little corkscrew section. It's a left and then a right and then a left, and it does get a little bit steep, so we will see riders dropping some watts, and we will see some riders dropping off the back of that group as well. It then does fall away slightly downhill, so there's an opportunity for riders to quickly grab a breath before it continues on to some more rolling terrain. So you can see here on the left hand video, it's sloping up. You can see feather power up being dropped, riders recognizing they're on this little climb. And just as they come across this bridge, we're now going to hit the right hander, and that's where the gradient really does start to crank up a little bit. I think it gets over 12%, not quite as high as 15 from memory, but you can see here that just as we're about to crest, that's the steepest part of the climb. You can see how it is getting strung out, lots of feather power ups there being dropped. Camille Effray there was up over 500 watts. And now riders dropping the drafting power up, so they're falling back a little bit through the group, just using that to get a little bit of assistance to make sure that they don't fall off the back of this group. But this is where we're going to see the first real split happen, and already you can see on the screen we've got this blue Tron bike, a rider just coming across there, the Cryogen rider, just making it back into this front group. A couple more riders coming across there, but it has strung out on this rolling section as expected. So you'd have thought now this front group, they've just crested what is probably the hardest part of the course. That's one of those key selection points. Now that they're over it, one or two riders might fall off the back of this pack because they've gone really deep just to maintain effort into this group. But you'd expect this group now would probably mostly stay together towards the finish. And we've done the hardest bit, so you'd have thought if you can stick with the group over that point, you'll have a chance of taking it all the way. But we shall see, we're not quite there just yet. A comment from Will, he's following on the YouTube feed. Thanks for following, Will. Good to see that you're riding well. Hopefully you're focusing on the riding and not getting dropped because you're looking at the stream. Right, so we're now approaching the baseball fields on the right hand side, and this is a bit of a cut through. There is a longer loop if you go straight on, and then there's a little climb and a descent, but this route takes the shortcut, cuts out a little bit of the elevation and cuts through where the baseball fields are. And you can see there we've lost a few riders. Here's that right-hander then. I'm just trying to do a bit of mental maths, quick count up through there. Maybe 20 riders or so in this front group. There's Will. So he is still in that front group then, able to concentrate on the live stream and on the riding at the same time. I'm glad you're enjoying the commentary, Will. Hopefully you can put on a good result for us at the end. Right, so now we start to hit the long home straight section. There's a couple of small bends in this, but it is very much a long straight drag race from this point. So there's one more lap to go after this, but this is where we might see some attacks on the second lap, riders wanting to go early. Maybe they've got a good 1 to 2 minute power and they can sustain that, so they might launch a little bit early. So we'll watch out for that as we just see a little bit, not quite a rider there, just putting in a bit of effort on the front. They're not pulling away and they're reeled back in. There's Jacob Bratton then, another dirt rider. These dirt riders really do come out in force when they're hosting events. So at this point, this might just be a slight moment where, because it's a little bit flatter, riders are able just to cruise for a few minutes up to that start finish line, just have a little breather. Things will settle down a little bit. We've done the first selection, so riders now maybe not trying quite so hard to drop other riders, just having a little breather. So we shall see what happens. There's a close-up of Will. We've got the dirt kit on there. This is happily cruising along at this point. So the Team Dirt have two kits in game. There's the original darker black kit, and then there's the orange and white kit, which is a newer edition, which was released a few months back, but is only unlocked on certain rides. You can see there, just the right hand side of that first image towards the back, that's the original Dirt kit there. Very successful club, Dads Inside Riding Trainers. I've been an unofficial member for a little while now, but that's going to become official sometime in the next couple of weeks. My little one is due any day now, really, so I'll be cementing my place in that team. Right then, 24 riders in this front group then, and they've got a healthy lead over the riders behind. It's a bit strung out behind. There's some B riders in here, some A riders. So there's a real mixture. I can't see any C riders, so it looks like they've not been able to stick with the pace. It's also a good mixture. It's not just dirt riders. You can see there's a good mixture of jerseys in there. Stages, Cryogen, some Peta Z riders, which we covered their race last night. Right, so we're just coming up back to the pens and towards that start finish line then. It's quite deceptive this, you don't quite see on, so this is the finishing straight, but the start finish line is just to the left. We're just going to see it come into view in a second, but it appears quite late and is on that downhill section. It just falls away on this corner. So it's quite easy to start your sprint too early, or perhaps even too late, because you don't realise quite how close you are to that start finish line. And as it falls away, if you timed it right and you carry your momentum, your power is still strong as you hit that downhill, you can leapfrog a couple of riders on the way to the line. If other riders are fading a little bit, it can cost them as they hit that downhill section. So riders now refreshing their power-ups as we commence lap 2, starting with the smaller LaGuardia loop. So if you are watching us from the USA, Canada or Australia, then please do check out our sponsor Paleo Valley. So they provide really good health foods, protein bars, multivitamins, and using the code cycling15 you can get 15% discount on any of their products. So we've been enjoying some of their products, and I say we, that's the VCN and ZMS team. I had one of their beef sticks. There's a little bit of a snack, a bit of a protein boost. All natural, no GMOs or any unnatural stuff in there. So they really do focus on producing a nice, healthy product. And yeah, if you use the code cycling15, then you can get 15% off any of their products. And if you do, then please let us know. We'd love to know what you think about those products as well. Right, back to the action. We're just coming up to the sprint banner again. So this is your final chance for riders to try and get an aero power up. If they haven't got one already, I would recommend getting one on a course like this. Having that fast, slightly downhill finish, the power up is the aero power up really is going to be maximised on a day like today. So a couple of people there, I think they probably just popped those van power ups just before they got to the arch, just on a last minute gamble. I hope that they haven't just used those after coming through the arch, because that would be a waste, because even the van drafting power up is useful as you approach the finish line. It is going to give you a draft saving. It's just not quite as powerful as the aero power up in that final section. So it looks like we've still got all of those riders together that we saw just now, 24 in this front group. No further riders dropped. 240 watts there being put out by Brandon Hines. I think that's very much cruising pace. And we'll still tightly bunched together here. That's a sign that the pace has dropped slightly. When they're more strung out, that often means that a rider at the front is really dropping the hammer, or it's going uphill, and that's when you tend to see it getting stretched out. But at the moment, all bunched together, so just an opportunity here, just a bit of watching each other. We might see a few attacks as we see the road go uphill a little bit on that reverse side of the course. That will be an opportunity for some strong riders to try and drop a couple of riders on that corkscrew section that we described with the 12% gradients. There's always a gamble. If you are a strong sprinter and you take a big pack to the finish line, it can still be a bit of a gamble. You've still got more riders to deal with. You might get caught behind a rider. You might get on some sticky draft and get into the wrong line. They might time their sprint better than you. So if there's an opportunity to lose a couple of riders, or lose as many as you can without going too deep before you get into that sprint position, then it's always worthwhile doing that. So Swift yesterday released an update. I'm not sure if everyone's aware of that yet, but there were a few new features released within that, including a new 12-speed group set that is set on the Canyon bike, the Specialized Tarmac, and the Pinarello Dogma. So they've been updated to the new 12-speed Dura Ace group set. So that's obviously exciting, according to Swift. Some other updates, just bring you up to speed on those. They've added the Shimano C50 and Cadex 36 wheel sets to the drop shop, and a new workout of the week has been added as well. So that's your new features and content for the month. I was a bit surprised to see that there was no World Championship course announced, as it is World Championships month. That is starting this week over in Leuven in Belgium. However, V-Cycling News have dropped the news that perhaps RGT Cycling are going to be launching a new Leuven course very soon. There appears to be some of their staff riding around the Leuven circuit. Originally it was believed that that was just a Magic Road feature, but some screenshots were accidentally uploaded onto the Strava feed. They've since been deleted. But check out the V-Cycling News Facebook page, because there are some images of what appears to be the new Leuven course, but coming from RGT and not coming from Swift. So that certainly could be very interesting in the world of online cycling. Another platform perhaps challenging Swift, and with the e-world currently out for bidding, maybe it won't be on Swift next year. And that's going to be in February the 26th, 2022, I believe, is when the online World Championships are taking place. So a few months yet. Right, here we are then, back to let's call it the corkscrew. You can see they're slightly getting strung out then. Looks like we may have lost a couple of riders. Oh, 9th, 15th, 20th there. That's makes it difficult for me as a commentator to know exactly how many riders are in this group when it's jumping around like that. It's got strung out though. A couple of riders at the front pushing the pace. Maybe lighter riders just able to get up that hill a little bit easier. A few riders at the back here just dropping a power up just to try and stay hanging on to that train. Looks like most of them are getting in. And it's coming back together on this slightly downhill section. That is one thing with this course, because of the way it's up and down. If it's strung out and you're at the back, you can suddenly find yourself with the elastic snapping, because the front of the group is suddenly accelerating again and you're still going uphill. So that is one thing you need to watch out for on rolling courses. Right, So we're coming to the business end of this. We're only a few kilometers away from the finish now. We're going to hit this right-hander at the junction, and then the next right-hander, and it's going to be onto that finishing straight. Looks like a few riders there. It does get very strung up because it's all riders in this field. You know, all riders are visible, so there's several pockets of different abilities forming on the road. You can see here on the right hand side, this is a little bit further back. Rider on the Scott bike there. Not sure if that's been given the new 12-speed group set. I don't think it has. They're going to have to stick with the virtual 11 gears, I'm afraid. Of course, the actual number of gears on the virtual bikes doesn't make any difference to the gameplay that we're aware of, although I'm sure Swift Insider possibly could be testing that. If they've got an opportunity, they could do a test on a pre-updated version and a post-updated version to see if the 12-speed is in fact any quicker over the same course. There's an idea for you, Eric, if you're listening. Okay, then we are around about 2 kilometers from the finish then. We're at 50 kilometers an hour. Pace is picking up. This is where we could see a little bit of a opportunity for a breakaway specialist. There we go, look, as I mentioned it, rider on the left hand side there in the cryogen kit. French rider here is making a break for it. F. Gombert. He's got a matching S-Works to match his kit, and he's opened up a bit of a gap there. He is taking this race by the horns. 460 watts there. That is at least 100 watts more than the pack is currently doing. But they have got the numbers. They will be getting a bit of draft saving. They'll be able to rotate. And will they close this down? How long can Frederic maintain that power? His heart rate there, 197 beats per minute, 195. It's jumping around. It's right up at the top end there. It's what's just dropped below 400 there for a moment. Here's the chase and the dirt riders now. 3 of them on the front. They're launching, firing that aero to come across. And as that group behind whittles down, it gives more opportunity for these riders to get in front and the breakaway to succeed. A bit dark here, they've put their lights on. Maybe that's a tactic as well. It's gone dark and they're riding away. Turn your lights off so the peloton can't see how far ahead you are. So that cat, looking back there, just how much it has strung up. And it's that man, Will Griff. Will Griffith's giving us a bit of a show. He's watching the stream. He's getting some camera time for his sponsors. Pumping out 6 watts per kilo then. He's got Ryan Norwood chasing him down. There's no team loyalties in this competition. It's all very much about individual honours and bragging rights amongst the dirt boys. Looks like Will has still got a couple of seconds lead ahead of Norwood, Hunt and Hernandez and Effrey, and then there's a 3-second gap back to Gertemuller and Hines and the rest of the pack. Inside the last 500 metres or so now, we're going to take this left. We're going to be onto that finishing straight. Can't yet see that finish line. I'm pretty sure, it says second on the screen there, but I'm sure Will is in the lead. I'm not sure what that's all about. He's got a big gap here. He's in absolute clear air here. And Hernandez and Effrey behind, launching 10 watts per kilo there from Hernandez. Is he going to catch Will? This is going to be oh so close. He's launched that drafting prep. Oh, he's come past Will in the last few hundred meters as they approach the pen. Hernandez, is he going to take it? Have we got anyone coming past him? No, it's Hernandez takes the win, then Effrey. And then it looked like Will Griffiths. Oh, great effort, Will. So unlucky there. But you few there did manage to pull away, hold the peloton off. Fantastic effort. Oh, that was a good, exciting finish there. Hernandez then taking it ahead of Effrey, and then Look like Will possibly in third, maybe fourth. Camille Efre, B rider. They've got a strong power sprint. I can see that looking at Swift Power. I'm just looking on Swift Power now for Hernandez. Wow, that was a good effort, Will. If you've caught your breath, then please let us know. He's saying he's got no sprint, he had to go long. Well, it nearly worked, Will. And yeah, as you mentioned, your sponsors seemed very happy with your showing there. So good for you to get some airtime for them. No, it's a fantastic race this. It looked like it was perhaps Jerry Dalport. We've got a shout out for Go Jerry, or maybe that's Jerry Hernandez. Not quite familiar with which Jerry that is. So, but yeah, thanks Sam. Good to see you supporting everyone. Right, we will just wait a moment for Swift Power to update, and hopefully we'll be able to bring you some results. It's a bit of a delay here. Oh, there we go. On the live tab, we can see 24 minutes 47 seconds. Jerry Hernandez, Cat A rider, very light rider, I must say. He's done well with that strong sprint at the finish. Then Camille Efre in second, and Will Griffiths in third. So Will did manage to hold on half a second ahead of DJ Hunt in fourth, and Ryan Norwood in fifth. They did manage to create a 6-second gap further back to the rest of the field. So we're going to try and bring you the results. Not quite as straightforward on Swift Power as it is compared to RGT database, we will say that. So our producers trying to get this working for us. We'll give them a moment to try and there we go. There we go. Look at that. Results. Excellent. Well done, Mr. Producer. That's Damon there in the background working his magic. So there we have it. Jerry Hernandez, 24 minutes 47 seconds, taking the win. 4.5 watts per kilo average. So I believe this is, let's just double check this. So Jerry was the lightest rider in the race, and Camille there in second place, 3.5 watts per kilo. He's not been super efficient. He's actually the second heaviest rider in the race. So really interesting to see two riders on this rolling course at different ends of the weight spectrum, finishing first and second. And then Will Griffiths, who was watching live, put on a show for us, gave us some excitement at the end there, managed to hold on to third place on the podium. DJ Hunt in fourth, just 0.05 seconds behind. Ryan Norwood, another second back in fifth. And then it was Michael Gertemuller who led the charging peloton, took the win from the remaining bunch ahead of, I say the win, he's done it, it's still sixth place, but he beat the rest of the chasing peloton there. Brandon Hines, Mitsuru Miyano, it was Jyrki Pakala from Team ODZ that we saw riding there, and then Nick Bevelaka, who rounds out the top 10. So Will's happy there with his third place in what is a strong field. Looking at the sign-ups there in the ranks, we can see that there was some very strong riders there. Though Will, your rank is very low as well, so I think you're maybe doing yourself a disservice. Well guys, hope that you've enjoyed this morning's Swift action. We will be back later on, possibly this week, but we will be next Wednesday. Definitely we are going to be bringing you a race from RGT Cycling, where we will be broadcasting a race on their new Iron Horse route that was released this week, end of last week. So that's going to be a very exciting race, one of the first races on that new course from Durango in Colorado. And we'll be bringing you all sorts of coverage from across the multiple platforms, and also check out the V-Cycling News for those new images from RGT of what could be the World Championship course dropping very soon. So give that a check. So thanks a lot for following us. Thanks for tuning in. please do give us a like or a subscribe if you're on Facebook or YouTube. It really does help us. And also check out our sponsors, Paleo Valley, Cycling 15, to get that 15% discount. Right, I'll leave you all to warm down. Thanks a lot for joining. Until next time, goodbye.